the recording and start our class. Well, this, I don't know whether you have received this day's lesson or not, probably not, because I have scheduled it after the class. So I'll just share the, lessons that I have shared with you so that you can have an idea. Just a moment. So I hope you can see this. I'll minimize our screen so that you can see the complete screen. So this is what I'll mute you both. Let us continue. So this is what we are discussing today. Goals. Now there are, sorry, they won't allow me to share. So let me stop sharing this and share again. Okay, so 3 highly effective goal setting techniques. Now first let me give an introduction of why goal setting, or what it is important in a graduate's life, especially when you are joining a job. What happens is, it is said that our work is actually divided into goals. So you have to have, what should I say? You have to have some target or goal, and you have to divide it properly, or you have to plan it properly so that you can achieve your target. What happens when I am studying is I have to, at the end of the semester, I have to sit for an exam. Fine, everyone knows that. Everyone prepares a little bit, but we also know that especially technical graduates prepare at the last moment because they know that concepts are clear. Now, if I mug it up right now, I'll forget it. Let us just mug it up at the end of the day when the prime time comes, and we can just pour it down. After that, the concepts is enough. We don't need to go into the, I remember all the details. Those things can be derived, or the results can become, you can come to some of the things you don't remember, but in the work life, there are hardly enough part that you have to always remember. Very few things are necessary on a daily basis for all of us. I mean, even if I am teaching English, I'm very, a few words are there. I mean, it is said that 3,000 words from the English dictionary is enough to have a very nice conversation throughout our life. We hardly use the rest. Rest, lakhs of words, we hardly use them. 3,000 words is enough for any language, not just English, but any language. So that means work knowledge and concepts is different. But when you go for a job, what happens is concepts are secondary. You have something to fulfill, and that has to be fulfilled in, say, days, maybe in 15 days, 21 days. Most of the projects you'll find have to be completed in 21 days. So every organization, every employer is worried that whether a person is capable of understanding goals and planning for the destination and really executing that plan. So there has to be goals, there has to be plans, there to fulfill that goal. There has to be micro planning, macro planning, and all those things. So that is what we are going to go into a little bit today. So highly effective techniques, they tell you that there are 3 techniques why we should set goals. Almost what I have said is given in a much lesser way. Where and how did this goal theories come into play, that is given here. Now the first point, that the first technique that they tell you is game to play with your mind. because everything at the end of the day is the mind that is doing it. Whether my mind is capable of taking up the challenge or not. So what I have to do is, how do I play this game with the mind? I um, set something down, I set something in my mind, then write it down. Because in most cases, what happens, many people, I'm not talking about the 100% of the population, but psychologically, almost 70 to 80% of the population finds it more dominating, more impressed on their brain when the things are written down. So you think of a goal, or you get a goal, get a target, and you write it down, and it becomes more engraved in your mind because it goes through your eyes. Our eyes remember what has been written rather, visual things are easier to remember for the mind. So we write it down to make it more definite. As if, what happens is, psychologists say that when we set a goal and we write it down, as if we invest a little part of ourselves in that thing. I am imagining myself when I reach the goal. Most of the cases, that is what has happened. We have a very vivid visual imagination, and we visualize it. We imagine that. We imagine that when I finish this goal, and when I finish this particular work that my employer has set for me, and I submitted it to him at, say, a day before it was due, that is the reaction my my boss will have, and that will make me happy. So I am invested in that particular image, that imagery that I have finished it 24 hours before, and my boss is pleased with me, and that makes me very pleased with, makes me very happy, makes me very satisfied, content. So that is how I am investing myself in that particular thing. And this is what they call the endowment effect. So endowment effect helps your brain to form an image, and then there is the and confirmation bias going on in your brain, telling yourself that that is a very nice image and I want to go there. So your brain is always reminding you that is a very nice thing and I want to go there. That is a very nice feeling and I want to go there. Suppose the same thing happens when you are playing a game. One day you play a game and you find it so interesting, so happy, your adrenaline is so charged that you want to do it the next day. So the goal setting is almost the same thing. You just find yourself that happy place and your brain wants to go there repeatedly. When you are setting these goals, when anyone is setting these goals, there are two things people should be aware of. One is, the goal is something that I am setting for myself. My boss is giving me a target. It should not be a goal that he sets for me. He is giving me a target. He is not giving me a goal. He should not give me a goal. Even if he does imply, I should not take it as the goal. I should do my own doing. And many of the cases, not in your batch or in these batches, in the previous batches, I have seen that most of the students have come up with a goal of what should I say, a goal of becoming someone which their parents have told them to become, or which their parents have suggested them to become. It is not their goal. So what happens is, there is a very half-hearted effort, or there is a very half-hearted way, halfway through that they reach. They are not able to really get there. This will happen. Not, it is not their fault, because it was not something their brain has done very actively, and they have gone along with it. Yes, especially Indian kids problem. Yeah. um, okay, so next is broadcasting your goal. This is another thing. When I have set myself a goal and I have found out my happy place, we as human beings want to like to share it, because we cannot keep anything to ourselves. As you know that in this lockdown period, people are getting depressed, people are getting mentally sick. Why? Because we cannot share with other people. We are stuck in one place, and most of us don't have this opportunity of the internet or online medium, and we cannot really share. Even there, we understand that that is not physically sharing. Physical sharing, when you actually get the real response, you see the happy face or see the what should I say, uh, yeah, still in the words are fine. What happens is when you are sorry, when you are broadcasting your goal, again, you have a different type of problem. There may be some people who are there to help you out, and there may be some people whom you feel responsible to the goals that you have set for yourself. Suppose when you grow up, probably you are at that age also. I personally feel always at that point where if I set myself a goal and I broadcast it to my parents, I feel it rather a hindrance than a help. Why? Because even if I achieve a little bit of it, not much, even if I achieve a little bit of it, they are always praising me. They are always saying that I have done a good job. That is not the place where I should be told that I have done a good job. When I was a kid, when I was learning, when I was trying to grow up and trying to really achieve something, every little bit of effort I was taking needed to be praised. But as I have grown up, now is not the time when I should be praised. Now is the time where I should be just said that, okay, fine, go ahead. That itself is enough. If I can broadcast it to someone whom I am responsible to, I look up to my guide, to my teacher, who is not going to always praise me because he or she has tens and thousands of students to praise, and he'll say, "Fine, you have done a good, you have reached one level. Go ahead." So that is something I need. I don't need someone who is going to praise me for even a little bit of thing that I have done, that will sabotage my experience, because my mind will then find, okay, when I have received this praise, that means I have reached my happy place, I have reached the place where I have reached. My mind will not at all accept that that is not the happy place. It will just equate those two things, and I will have difficulty moving on to the next step. So we should be broadcasting our what should I say, broadcasting our things to people who are going to be minimally appreciative, not too much. They will definitely appreciate when I have done it properly. Suppose if I am going to set up a goal for a particular project that has been given by my boss, what I can do is, or what usually happens is, boss takes an update after 2 or 3 days, because he also knows that at the end of 21 days he has to submit something to his senior, so, or something to the customer. So he has to keep himself updated where it is proceeding and where it is getting hampered, what are the problems we are facing and stuff like that, because not always everything goes right. So he has to keep himself updated. When he comes and asks you what is it, he'll never say a good job, well done. He'll just say, fine, go ahead. So that is a person we can say that we can keep to ourselves and share it with our boss that this is where I have reached, and then move ahead. Now, here is the theoretical part that is there. There are three main techniques of goal setting. One is called the SMART method, one is called the hard method, another one is called the hoop method. The SMART method goes ahead with the word smart. Smart is specific, so when you are setting yourself a goal, what happens is most of the time we set ourselves, even if I'm talking of my life goal, what I set myself is I want to earn, say I want to earn 5 lakh rupees. Or we don't say that, we say that I want to be successful, I want to be rich. What do I mean by rich? Is it 1 lakh rupees? Is it 10 lakh rupees? Is it 10 crore rupees? Because it varies from person to person, number one. Number two is, uh, I mean, when do I want to reach that? I mean, at the end of the day, when I die, I have 10 crore rupees in my bank account, fine. But that is not going to help me at all. So why do I want that type of things? So what is it that we actually want? Suppose if I say that at the end of 5 years, I would love um, 1 crore rupees. So 5 years, I have a little bit of time. It is measurable. Uh, I mean, measurable thing that 5 years of time I give myself to earn 5 crores, or say 1 crore. 5 crores is a huge amount for any average Indian. So let us keep it 1 crore. It is measurable. Now it is, if I find out certain ways or avenues of earning, it may be achievable also. It is realistic, and I have specified the time. Now what I have to do is I have to, I mean, generally what has to be done when you set yourself a goal is that 5 years to earn 1 crore. Generally what happens is, to reach that, I would have to struggle for the first 3 years. So the first year, I trying to find out ways where ways and means of doing things which will give me 1 crore rupees at the end of 5 years. I mean, a regular job won't give me. So I have to find out something else, what that something else can be. So I do some research that will take me 6 to 8 months, and then I start working on it. When I start working on it, I find that I am not very good at one thing. I have to find another option, another avenue. So that will take me about a year to at least pinpoint the place where what I can do to earn that amount of money. That is one year gone. Next year, I can work on the thing that I have found out that I'm good at and I can do, and that will give me that amount of money. So now I start working on that project. That project will again take me another year or so, if not 1 year, at least 6 to 8 months it takes up to set up. Now, after setting up, to at least make it work and stuff like that, 1 year definitely, even more than 1 year. So I take it for granted that it takes me 1 year, 4 months. So 2 year, 4 months gone. I have started earning. It is said that at the end of, I mean, at the end of 2 or 2.5 years, I'll be in a position to earn just 5 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, not more than that. Or maybe even if I'm in a very good, I was seeing some excellent reports yesterday where I saw that people were earning in 25 days, people were earning 5 lakh rupees. So if I take up that type of things, maybe I'll be in a position to earn 5 lakh rupees at the end of 2 years, 4 months. Now, most of the businesses say when something has started, then it starts multiplying. So 2 years, 4 months for 5 lakh rupees. 3 years, that will almost more than double. I mean, I have 2 more steps. Another 4 months, it will become 10 lakh. Another 4 months, 20 lakh. So by the end of 3 years, I have just reached 20 lakh. At the end of 4 years, definitely it will be more than 40 lakh. It will be about 50 lakh. And the fifth year, it can be 1 crore. So this is something very imaginary I have taken up, but I have also added some readings I have been doing online, where everything to set up takes up 3 years, set up and to go forward. So that means I have decided a goal, measured it, achieved it. Next part is breaking it up and planning it properly. Yearly, what am I going to do? Most of the cases, what happens is a person just finds out that he or she is taking more than a year to at least come to a point where he can decide that that is something which is going to give me money and I am going to work on it. That decision takes up more than 1 year, and most of the people get frustrated by the end of 6 months and give up on their dream. But if you have really set your goal and planned properly, that first year definitely is going to be wasted, but I'll persist. I'll be in my job, I'll be earning a little bit money, and I'll persist. Second year, I'll be still earning a little bit of money, and I'll persist. By the end of second year, I'll be in a position to do more than just persisting. I'll have something in my hand, but 4 months will take me to have something where I can give up this, other earning options that I have and concentrate on the thing that I have been doing. So this type of planning can only reach you to this goal. Otherwise, you'll get distracted and you'll get frustrated and give up. So this is one type of goal setting. Another method is hard. Hard method means whatever it says, it is hard, because here what is there is only emotions that are involved. You have to be emotionally attached to that goal. You have to be very much emotionally invested. And most of the cases, what happens is when too much emotions are involved, too much frustrations also come up. So that is something which we have to avoid. Next is have a imagination or a vivid picture of the feeling that you'll have after achieving it. As I said, we all become invested in the future image or future happy place where we will go to if we have achieved it. So that is something which we are going to make a vision of and keep it in our minds or bring it up to our minds every single day. I'm not sure if you have heard of this, but um, have you heard of okay, you have heard of Jack Sparrow, definitely, right? Jack Sparrow, yeah, obviously all of us has heard of Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow
Yes,
was,
ma'am.
yeah, Jack Sparrow was a very ordinary, less than ordinary actor. And he is not, he was, I mean, if you take up his makeup, he's a very not appreciative looking guy. I mean, uh, film world doesn't take up this type of looks. Okay, but he decided for himself that he will he will become the highest, more than highest. Where he had the money amount of $10,000 for one role. Okay, that is something he dreamt of. And what he did was he, wrote it out, a check, big check. He wrote out the check for himself. He almost made an imaginary sign of some person, and he wrote it out that this particular check has been given to Jack Sparrow for his eminent, impressive role in the movie. Name of the movie was not written, and the amount of money was written, and he made out a big cutout of that, and he posted it on his, ceiling, on the bed he used to sleep, because he said that he had a very small one room apartment, just one room and one small space for cook his food and a washroom. He could not afford anything more than that. So he kept it on his ceiling in the bedroom, just above his bed. And he used to look at it every day, and he used to imagine having that check, receiving that check from a very prominent director. And he even says, when he related this story, he even said that, he had an imagination, he had made a picture of the director. The director also was the person he had thought of. He had imagined him everything, every details of it. And he used to do it every single. He used to struggle throughout the day. And at night, he used to look at it, think of that happy place, and go to sleep. So he did it for about 5 years. And at the end of it, yes, Johnny Depp, uh, um, he, at the end of it, he got this role. And not only one film, he had done it for probably 4 films. I don't remember how many parts of that is there. Yes, Shubham, 4 parts. Okay. I've not seen the last one. I've seen only 3 of them. So, and he has done an immensely remarkable role. So his opportunity came up and he had his goal successfully implemented because of this vivid imagination that he had. This is a very hard way. You have to struggle very hard for this, but he's succeeded. Yes. Dead man tails, no tails. Okay. He was not selected in the 5th one because of his, then everything came on, started, he lost his way. So I have nothing to say about that. Okay, next is, as you imagine this, there is a sense of urgency growing. You have to achieve that, you have to achieve that, you have to achieve that. And last is, it difficult, make your goals difficult and be prepared to take the challenge. Now, this is something I don't know. If your goal is too easy, you have to try to make it difficult. Like you say, your goal has been set for 21 days and you find it pretty easy. And then you should set yourself up a challenge of finishing it in 15 days. That is a challenge that you give to yourself, and you keep up that challenge and you achieve it, and you get interested in achieving something similar again, setting up a different goal and doing it again. So that is the hard method. Next comes the WOOP method. WOOP method is wish something, imagine the outcome, imagine the obstacles. The first two are almost the same in all the 3 steps. Imagine the obstacles and imagine the place. This is called the most practical one, but very few people use it. Most people use the SMART method, where these realistic things are where we are going to plan it. This planning part is also there, where planning and obstacle part is also here. Realistically, we will find out, we'll think for ourselves what are the obstacles we can be facing. Definitely some of the obstacles will be personal or mental or from ourselves, individual. Some of the obstacles will be external. Some of the obstacles will be unplanned for. So the personal and the outside one, which we can imagine will happen, we'll try to make a contingency plan. I hope you know what is a contingency plan. A contingency plan is to work or prepare for the emergency period. Prepare something so that if this happens, I'll I'll do so and so things so that I can get over that. And timely or planning can be something which I said that don't just plan for the entire thing. So I can do that in 5 years. No, break it down into year, break it down. Then take up the first year and break it down into 6 months, achievable plots, and then break it down into monthly achievable things that you are going to do. When you break it down into months, you can even break it down into hours, because days, because you will then be, I don't have much time, I'll share the next thing with you. You'll then be in a position to actually think of the little bit of work that I have to do today. So if you have planned and you have broken everything down to daily planning. So my goal is to finish this up today. You'll find it much easier to tackle. You have taken a big thing. Suppose you have taken a big piece of bone and broken down into smaller parts, and now it is chewable. Now it is does not look like a big scary thing. There is a Word document where you will find all the things that I have told you. Only thing that I have not told you is the last point, because if you don't reward yourself, your boss is going to be very happy. your I mean, whatever goal, whatever place you have reached, you are going to be pretty pleased with that. But then go ahead and reward yourself. Give yourself a little bit of something so that your mind is satisfied that, well, if I do that, I'll get this. So I have a small assignment for you. Just this is nothing but I've asked you to follow the SMART goal method. Ask yourself these questions, and here is the question given you. Right? Question is in the top. You have to prepare 5 goals, and how you are going to reach that goal, you have to write about each goal. Each 5 goals you have to reach. Tell us how you are going to do it. Just the planning part has to be done. 1 goal, plans. 1 goal, plans. 1 goal, plans. 5 goals. 1 has to be an academic goal, 1 has to be a personal goal, 1 has to be a social goal. Academic goal, what I suggest is you write 2 academic goals. That means 2 of the 5 are done. You write 2 personal goals, 4 of them are done, and write 1 social goal. Or you can go around in this other way. Personal goals can be more. Social and academic goals can be 1 each, or social goals can be more than 1 each. Social goals can has to be something like you're going to network with 100 people. So that is a social goal. Okay, so I don't mean that a social goal which is also going to help you in your academics or in your career or in your personal goal. Not, I don't just mean that, but you can just do it. And if possible, make one of the goals short term and one of the goals long term. Suppose in your personal goal, you just set up a very long term goal and then take a part of it and make it into a short term goal. So your long term personal goal can be two things, big one and the small one. Okay, so just go ahead. Yes. Yeah, I have definitely shared this PDF with you. Within an hour or 2, by the end of today, you'll get everything. You'll get the PDFs, you'll get the Word documents, you'll get the assignment. I am not in class, so I wanted to do a class, so that is how I did the class. Okay. Well, no, nothing else to share with you anymore. Probably, I don't remember very nicely, but probably there is a video also of this goal setting. If not, just take the captions that I have given on the assignments, sorry, in the articles that I have given you, and paste it on YouTube. You'll get lots of videos. So that will help you also get better ideas to do the assignment right now, and take this up and do it in your life in the, in future. It will help you also in your interviews, because when you are when you are going for an interview, many interviewers ask, what are you planning in certain cases? So you have to tell them that when you have a goal, you break it down, you set it up in this way, and you go ahead and fulfill it one by one. Okay, so I must finish it now because my Zoom is giving me warning. I don't have, yes, just a moment. Talking in front of the camera, talking in English fluently for a longer period of time. It will take you a little bit of practice. It will take you a little bit of time. It will not be done in 1 month. You have to go ahead and do it for at least 2 or 3 months. But if you can keep up that patience, speaking in front of people, speaking in front of camera, speaking in front of an audience, speaking in front of one person about anything that is academic, not just day-to-day life, but something academic, something which you want people to be impressed about, you'll get a better idea of that. Okay. Okay, I'll end my meeting here and I'll share the recording with you by today night. Thank you. Okay, I'll watch this video.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.